Hello again, YouTube. This is a kind of a rocket kit that I've been curious about for a little while. This is the SloMo by Apogee Components. Um, so this rocket has kind of an interesting selling point, and I was really curious about it. Um, on the Apogee website, it says that this rocket can kind of take off like really slowly. Um, and I guess that would kind of replicate like a really cinematic launch that like you see with like, real big rockets. Because, like with model rockets, you just press the launch button and it just goes off. But with like NASA rockets, they like rise slowly. And supposedly this could replicate that with all this stuff you see here. And there's nothing on YouTube about this rocket. I mean, I haven't seen any launch videos. So I want to see for myself what this is like. So I got this kit. I think it was about like $30, $35. So yeah, let's open it. Okay, so here's the first set of parts. This is the info card type thing. Again, slow-mo. As you can see, it's designed for a slow liftoff. That's the whole thing. It comes with a couple cool things: laser cut rings, tubes, blah blah blah. Uniquely designed canted fins, altimeter bay, ejection baffle. So uh, here's the fin material piece. This is actually laser cut plywood. A lot of unique parts. This one kind of came out. But yeah, these are the fins, I guess. I mean, yeah, pretty bizarre. I haven't seen anything like it on a kit. So I'm kind of excited to see this. I mean, yeah, here's the instruction set. I wonder how old this kit is. But I think it's fairly old, but still, look at these really detailed instructions. That's pretty nice. Um, Here's a coupon code. Check that out if you want that. Um, and here's the decals. This one's a big wraparound. Kind of has some like silly shapes to them, like a snail type design. I don't know. Usually I like more like realistic style decals on my rockets, but I mean, this is a silly rocket, so I don't mind it. This is the next set of parts. Um, this is a parachute kit thing. You have to cut it out, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm actually not sure what size this parachute is, um, but it's like the like plastic material, which is all right. Um, Here's the body tubes. This is like a standard body tube. This one's a little more strange. Lots of cutouts. I guess this is like the fin assembly because it has like these slots for the fins. That's pretty cool. Um, this has holes in it too. I'm not sure for what. I guess this is probably actually part of the altimeter bay because you need these holes for altimeter to sample. Here's two couplers, which makes sense because there's all these tubes. Actually, only two couplers is kind of interesting because there are three. So I think these are going to detach right here. So only two couplers. One, two. Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense, right? Yeah, never mind. Here's the nose cone. Pretty standard. I think it's the same as the one I had for the Aspire, which I just reviewed. This is probably an engine mount tube. Comes with a slot and everything, which is useful for the retainer hook. Really small Kevlar shot cord. Two launch lugs, don't lose those. Centering rings, engine block, and two eye bolts, which is pretty premium. I think I said that there's like a baffle system. So this is also where the parachute will attach. I'm not sure what two will be for. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if, I guess it gets, no, not really. Oh, I bet you'll glue a part in for the bulkhead to separate the altimeter bay. Yeah, that's what I have to imagine. Like there'll be a plywood bulkhead. This goes in. That creates the altimeter bay. But yeah, so now let's get to the build of this kit. I'm pretty excited for it. I think it'll be pretty unique, pretty different. So yeah.
Okay. Anyways, this is actually not post-production. This is just how fast I work on rockets in real time. Anyways, I'll talk you through the build. Here I am kind of working on assembling the motor mount. As you can see, a little tricky in some aspects. You can see me really reaching my finger down there. That's just because it's just unnecessarily long. You'll see me using that old motor casing to push that in. Now we're cutting out just a few parts for the ejection baffle out of the plywood. Um, One of them we get to discard of. One of them we put an eye bolt in. So we assembled that. Now the one thing that was a little tricky with this is the assembly is just a little bit smaller, just a tad smaller than that ring's diameter. So it's kind of a loose fit. Um, this wasn't though. This fit pretty well. Just putting the motor mount into the bottom body tube. Um, you see, it's just still not all the way tight in there. So we let it dry. I think I used some super glue. Yeah, I did. Then we tied the Kevlar shock cord. Uh, we're gonna put that in a second. I had to wait for it to dry. I think this whole build process took me about like 2 days total. We got the coupler in there, put on the second body tube. This is like the main body tube. So there's that. That was pretty easy. Then we line up the launch lug lines, and we're putting those on. So as I wait for those to dry, I'll assemble the fins a little bit. Let me just say, okay, cutting these out, it's fine. Oh, these are like stakes that go on the side of the rocket. I'm not sure what they were for, just design, I guess. But this part, oh my gosh, putting the fins, like the two parts together, the fit was absolutely perfect. I mean, they fit like a glove. Like honestly, so satisfying. Like those two parts fit really, really well, and I just really like that. I just really did. Here's the bulkhead for the top coupler. We're putting on the fins now. This is kind of tricky because they come in on an angle. At least they're through wall, but they just like to tip over. Really top heavy. They don't go on exactly straight. I mean, you can see a lot of adjustments there. Um, but I got those on. It wasn't too big of a problem. But that was probably the hardest part of the whole build. This part wasn't too bad, putting on the coupler to the payload bay. We tied the shock cord, and I think now we just kind of waited for stuff to dry. We put tape around the nose cone. That was all done. So now we're assembling the parachute. This is kind of lame. I don't really like it when you have to cut out the parachute, but I cut it out to 15 inches. I think that's just the right size for this size of a rocket. 18 inches almost always overkill in my opinion. The lines for this thing were super long. They really are just so long. Here I am attaching. You'll see me using wood glue. That's just to put on the knots to make sure they never come out, never come undone, just to be safe. There's like paper rings that you also put on. It's not too hard to assemble the parachute. Here we are tying it up. You can see I'd finished the rocket, painted it up. Now you'll see the paint job a little bit more. I was decently happy with it. I don't know. Putting on the decals, I don't think these are the best looking decals. They're kind of goofy. I don't like the cartoonish decals. I like them looking more realistic, I guess. But they're not too bad. I do like the snail design. It's kind of cool. You can see I kind of decided not to put that
Yeah, I
apogee
think
logo.
we just kind of cut out just now. But as I was saying, I just don't think, I didn't think there's a spot that the giant Apogee sticker would fit, but it's okay. Anyways, here's the full rocket, fully completed. This is like the top part. I kind of did this like striped pattern. It's all right. The green and the black, they don't work all too well. I was kind of going for kind of the same colors as the Zephyr, the Apogee Zephyr that I have, which I mean, this is a really cool rocket. I don't think I've ever, ooh, careful with this. Have I ever showed this on my channel? I'm not sure, but I've not got to launch it yet. Kind of tricky if you're not old enough to get a level 1, but I did build that a while ago. Anyways, that's not the point of this kit, this review. So this is the full rocket. I kind of yapped already, so I'm gonna keep my rambling to a minimum. I did think it was a fun build. There were some tricky parts again, as you can see, right? The fins, they are slanted just a little bit. You can just kind of see it, like you know, and that makes them pretty hard to balance. That was like the one tricky part. The coupler rings, I will show you quickly. These parts, they don't fit. They're just a little too small. That's the one thing. Okay. The plywood to plywood fit perfectly. Perfectly. It was amazing. The cardboard to plywood, the plywood's just a little loose. Um, which I probably would have preferred they'd be a little tight. You can sand them down, but it's not too big of a deal. But the coupler ring, this one here especially was tough, because you needed a lot of extra wood glue, a lot of hope. But came together pretty cool. There's a lot to this kit, full build, full kit, you know. So I do recommend it, and I'm really excited to see it launch. I'm not sure when I'll be able to launch. I'm just not sure right now. There might be still a little wait, so I'm putting this review out soon, but I do hope to launch this soon. I really want to see the SloMo effect. I think that'd be super cool. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.